Well, hello. You're most welcome to the GMODISM channel. This is your host Eric, and you must be very excited to see what you have in front of you. If you are in the army of GMODISM, enlisted as you can do for free in the Discord, you may have seen a picture of this. And you decided that it should be called a bunch of names. Namely, Fafnir, Gungnir, Ethelmore, Garmer. Well, and Netramira's suggestion, which was the Yggdrasil, which I forgot about. Anyways, according to the democratic vote of YouTube posts, Fafnir is the clear winner. Which is why we opted for dragon vibes, because Fafnir is a dragon. And Borderwise's artwork says it all. Var är den dumma draken? Where is that stupid dragon? Yeah, how do you beat a dragon? Well, you bring another dragon. And true to the Viking theme, dragon ship is of course even better. And it's a perfect opportunity to use the AOG Omicron's cool windows, which I took the idea and made my own on. So here we have it. Should I stop teasing now and show you the whole thing? I think it's time. This is the army of GMODISM Fafnir. And true to its dragon-beating theme, this thing is designed to beat Drakenslang Mark II reliably. The Gimle class did sometimes win over the Mark II and sometimes lose. It wasn't a reliable win. And this ship has been an effort over, well, basically since the Drakenslang Mark II was built, so that's like years ago. When I think it's more than a year ago since I started on this. But you know, then I got sick and everything got slowed down and such. So it took a long time to finish this. I will show you a video later on the channel which goes through the building process in detail. And as you can see here, I saved an iteration of each, well, I saved iterations of it. So we can finally get to the Fafnir class battleship Mark I. Version 100. Do you know how careful I've been to make sure it's a version 100? So I literally can't change anything now. It's version 100. This is what it's gonna be. I hope I don't find any major things that needs to fix, because I don't want to break the 100. As with any battleship, now that the Fafnir is complete, it's very outdated and I learned a lot more on how to build battleships. So it's not indicative of my current building level, but this is what we're having. I try to make her work as well as I can and fix her up as good as I can. And this is not a one-sider, it's a double-sider. It even switches sides, or tries to. It was, as said, built to beat the Drakenslang Mark II, and the really cool thing is that I never even tested it against the Drakenslang Mark II. It has never met the Drak Mark II. So that battle, when it meets the Drakenslang Mark II, will be available on the GMODISM channel. You can find a link to that channel on the end screen. And when you're watching this video, unless you're in the Ecclesiarchy, that video should be available. Right. So if you want to see the Fafnir beat the Drakenslang Mark II, or very embarrassingly for me, being beat by the Drakenslang Mark II, check that out on the GMODISM channel. On the GMODISM channel, I will also pitch the Fafnir against the Gimle Mark I. And I don't know if I'm gonna pitch the Fafnir against the Gimle Mark III on this channel or on the GMODISM channel as well. So do go and subscribe to the GMODISM channel if you didn't know that I have a second channel with also mostly from the depth content. Anyways, I guess that's the sponsor of this video. We're gonna look through this. You can see in the project files, the project was called Zeet, and that's because it was going to be a laser, which isn't spelled that way, but I guess I thought so. It has a big laser, but it turned out to be a sandblaster type design instead. If you look at this, it has a total firepower of 1100, which isn't very impressive, and most of that is actually missiles. It turns out the ship was a lot more cheap than I anticipated, so my guns wasn't as expensive as I thought they would be. Yeah, so that's why I had to add a load of missiles to kind of get more firepower. So yeah, it has, you know, it's a mixed firepower. I don't know if it's even is a sandblaster ship anymore. It got 4 big sandblasting guns, these ones being the big ones. And then it has an array of weapons. We have some charge plasma for early damage. We have a lot of sea whiz cannons. We do have some diff guns, broadside cannons. Got some diff guns on top. And we have a good bit of anti-munition missiles. We have the new variant that I developed with the help of the Army of GMODISM as well. And as you know, in this video, the Fafnir is going to meet the notorious Broadsword battleship, one of the best battleships submitted for the Gimle tournaments, and I think if it's not the leading winner when it comes to time, it's in the top 3. The Broadsword beat the Gimle Mark I around the fastest of all of the submitted ships. So I'm really scared for this battle. I don't expect the Fafnir to win over the Broadsword, but I really hope it will. That would be really cool. Yeah, so we will check that out. And oh, by the way, I haven't even tested this against the Gimle Mark I, so that will be in the GMODISM channel too. I don't know if it can beat Gimle Mark I, honestly. So it's a stretch. I even put it into the tournament, but the reason why I did that is because I wanted exactly 32 contestants, and you know, some people submitted a lot of ships and I only got to submit 1. So yeah, you know, it's my tournament, I make up the rules. So I just decided I want another battleship in here, and we get in round number 32, which is perfect for double elimination. Anyways, I should stop rambling and show you the interiors. We've got some really long medium missiles here and some short ones as well. We have this sandblaster turret, which I admit isn't the best Tetris. Now I actually would use 5-clip Tetris instead, but I didn't know about that when I built this turret. It's an upgraded turret of that turret, however. This is the... well, we can look at that in the building video for it. It's the Fort SA. It has 1300 meters per second. It fires the 67mm gun. It's an accurate little gun, sabot head and double fin. It used a tracer before, but I really needed added accuracy. It doesn't have any recoil absorption. And up here you can see it's a smaller version of the same turret, so it's a smaller little sandblaster. Back here, these are not damage dealing guns. These are like anti-cram basically, or anti-big missile. It's a it fires a series of shells. Yeah, it's a really scary thing. It shoots, I think it's 5 shells at once, and really does a lot of alpha damage, almost taking out any shell that comes in, like Doom Cram. It can take out the average Doom Cram shell. You can check here that if you see the health of this, or not the health, the damage of this, anti-munition damage, so it's like 125,000 basically damage, and it's 2 of them, so it's more than 1 in 200,000 damage what they output, and together with some anti-munition missiles that takes out most Doom Crams, but not all of them. That's the idea, at least, to defend against the Doom Crams, and we got some sea whiz cannons shooting at incoming stuff as well. Oh, and we have a decoy missile in the shape of a dragon. Now, the laser system is pretty funny. It is on a telescope thing here to make it a little bit more protected. And the laser is of course spread out in the interiors. We are utilizing our really big multi-stage battleship engine, which is pretty material efficient. So this can be adapted for campaign use. I'm going to make a campaign version of this that's going to be much cheaper. To get more firepower, I had to rely a lot on missiles. So we have underwater firing missiles/torpedoes, what I usually call ion missiles in the AOG universe, which are being fired to each side and they are remote guided. We have a lot of azipods and we have charged plasma, as I said, and that's the general setup of it. And as said, this is a dual-sider. It has the same armor on both of the sides. So we have a thin little torpedo detonating layer to detonate torpedoes and missiles that come and make the explosion be a little bit away from the central hull. Then we have, well, metal. We got some, what is it, appliques for catching spalls if we got shot by hash or heat. Then we have metal, alloy or wood, and then we have a layer of wood, a spall liner again for, well, those types of things, hash that is. And then we have heavy armor band, catch that. We got some metal or alloy, and then more metal, and then more alloy and wood, until we get to the central pieces. And all of the different sections are sectioned off from each other, so we have a lot of interior armor and basically enclosed spaces within. And the turrets are, some of them are pretty heavily armored. If I can show you, I think it's in front. We can do a little left-right cut so you can see some of the turrets are well protected with heavy armor above the waterline like this. Yeah, and that's the general look of the ship. So if you have forgot how the broadsword looks like, I'm gonna spawn that in and we take a quick look on that too. Here we have a Scrabus Project Broadsword. And this is a very scary ship going pretty fast, almost a hydrofoil-ish. It kind of sinks when it just sits around. But it has a firepower of 2000, so a lot more than the Fafnir, I'm sad to say. Fafnir doesn't have any lamps either. It just sinks when... This is only meant for actual combat with a tournament scenario. It uses narrow frag, wide frag, like that, so it basically spams fragmentation rounds at a really high RPM. And it zooms around going super fast. A lot of you wanted to see the broadsword fight the Drakenslang Mark III. And yeah, that would be super cool. I think I'm gonna put that on the GMODISM channel as well. So this is how it looks if we remove decos. It's not very decorated like that. We have a lot of, if we do the front back cutter, you can look at the sides here. It's basically a brick of metal boosted with heavy armor. It's a metal brick. It's metal. And it only floats because it goes fast. And it does go pretty fast as well. I don't know how fast it does go. We'll see. You'll see that in the battle. Actually, what? Anyhow, Project Broadsword boasts very scary firepower. It annihilates something like the Gimle so fast. Watch that old video if you want to see the Gimle Mark I absolutely get mauled by this thing, and you can see how powerful this is. That's a recommendation before you check out this video any further, if you want to get the real background on how scary this thing is. Just search for Gimle versus Broadsword, or maybe I'll link it in the description. I'll try to remember that. Alright, it's gonna be best of 3, so, well, yeah, and it's a double elimination, so the loser of this battle will have another chance in the loser's bracket. Anyways, for those of you who skipped the introduction to look at the ships, I'll let you see the Fafnir. And this is the classified ship I have been working on in secret for a long time. And of course, now that it's done, it's basically outdated, but whatever. Let's get the first battle started. Alright, here we go. And it does use its paddles to move, actually. Here you see the fun little decoy dragon. Oh my. Now the shots are incoming. And you can see all that fragmentation. Oh my. Oh my. This is quite scary. Let's see what our ship is doing. It's starting a lot of fires. One thing that you can see, we have crams coming in here. They are only decoy crams to activate enemy CWIS systems. So yeah, enemies that have CWIS, like Drakenslang, should use them at all times, because that's the idea with that. So the way it works is that it gets incendiary missiles all over the ship, and then it also uses laser with pretty high intensity to boost, like make the fires stronger potentially. I don't know if that really works anymore, but it did, from what I understand, when we built it. Oh, it has torpedoes as well. Underwater launched torpedoes. I can actually pause it, you can see here. Here they are. So they fire from here. They're very cute. They are very sleekly fired, as well as the side-fired missiles. I hope we don't gonna have a collision here, because that's gonna lag so bad. Oh my. Oh. Oh no. Okay, the Project Broadsword is actually not in the lead in terms of health. That is very promising. That is very promising. I'm thinking the Fafnir class is considering a side switch, perhaps. It's kind of what it looks like. But now we're having a collision here. I don't like that the Broadsword goes into full collision mode. I mean, the name is pretty indicative of that, but it makes our frame rate be very sad. We're just gonna push it underwater? Like, what the hell? Oh, the frame rate. The frame rate has gone home. Oh no. I don't know what we're gonna do with battles like this. Oh, okay, thank you. They detached. I was not looking forward to sit around for an hour of super lag. Like, we're all already in kind of degraded mode, I think, like. So, oh no. And now the guns start shooting again. That is pretty bad. Bad for the Fafnir. The Fafnir seems to be going with its damaged side after all. Look at that. Oh my. We have... Oh, like these shells are so scary. They really tear up stuff. Look at that. 87 versus 86 percentages. Let's see what the lasers are doing here. Also, the lasers have a sandblaster attached to them that actually uses heavy heads. Or like, not the lasers themselves don't have a sandblaster attached to them, but there is a sandblaster that shoots at the same spot as the lasers. And that uses heavy heads instead. And that's because when you weaken things with oxidizer and fire, especially oxidizer, by the way, all of the missiles do have a good bit of oxidizer. You weaken the AP value, so then you can kill it with a heavy head instead of a sabo. The other ones focus fire on clusters of blocks, whereas the laser goes for hot blocks. So that is, they're shooting at different places, and the big sandblasting turrets instead go for other clusters, and they focus fire for a long time to really try and take out cram turrets. Kind of designed to take out the cram turrets of the Drakenslang Mark II, as you might imagine. All right. It looks like the Fafnir class is considering a side switch. I think it does indeed. Oh my. It's starting to look very sad here. 81 versus 84 percentages. The Project Broadsword has gained the lead. But you can see we have fires all over the place. I'm really hoping these barrels are gonna burn down. Man, it's so many turrets and they have such high output. It's definitely doing a lot better than the Gimle Mark 1, that's true. It is... I mean, it's already past 2 minutes and the Project Broadsword and the Fafnir class are similar in health. But remember, it's gonna be best of 3, so we're gonna see who is gonna be best after 3 battles. Alright. We do have our sandblasters still coming in here. And I think the torpedoes are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I don't think the broadsword has any defenses against something like a torpedo. It's gonna be best of 3. And thanks for the comments about keeping the 3rd battle. Then I'll know we'll always keep the 3rd battle so we don't spoil any results. Looks like the Fafnir class is pretty damaged here in its turning capabilities. Right, so the Fafnir class battleship is actually doing much better than I thought it would do against the Project Broadsword. That is promising. The Project Broadsword is one of the... It's really scary, as you evidently can see. I am getting a little bit worried now because the Fafnir dropped to 72. Look at this. This is pretty damaged. Like, we're really eating through a lot of the turrets here. Eventually, that fire keeps on burning. Thankfully, it's very much over the water, which makes the fire very much more effective. Let's look at the Fafnir class. Oh my lord, look at this. This is really... it's really damaged. This turret is like barely alive. Look at that. So many of the ammunition has been detonated. Like, it doesn't chain react like a payload, but it doesn't use ejection defuses or ejectors. So, oh, bam, no, the laser turret went. Bam. That's bad news. It has the same issue and funny thing as the Gimle superstructure. And this superstructure is like literally for show. It's made of tetras. It's made of wooden and mostly metal tetras. Yeah. Look at that. But it does host some detection. We have detection at other places too. Look at that. So sad. Okay. Looks like the Project Broadsword is probably still the better battleship. It's scary stuff. Will our fragmentation... I think it's fragmentation hash or something like that. They can't possibly hit at this range, can they? No, of course not. What? Wait. What? What happened? Did we take out the broadsword's propulsion? Oh my! Are you kidding me? Wow. The Fafnir battleship actually managed to beat the broadsword the first battle. It's best of 3. So let's keep our hopes checked at a acceptable level. I'm hoping I'm gonna win this. I'm hoping the Fafnir will be able to win this. This is very exciting news. I didn't think it would be able to beat it. But it might. It might. It darn well might. Yeah. That's beautiful. The Fafnir takes home the first battle. But this is best of 3. So let us load them. Let's load them in again. Sadly, everything in the captain's quarters are gone, including the steering wheel and, or not, it's the ship deck, rather. And Borderwise's artwork. Yeah. Beautiful artwork, by the way, Borderwise, if you are watching this. I love it. Now, by the way, I'm gonna make the campaign version of the Fafnir with a little bit nicer interiors. This basically has not much interior to show for, but we have a little bit. So I guess I can show you it. It's the captain. It's not the captain's quarter. It's basically built like a ferry. It's built like a you know, just transportation ship, which is nice because, you know, it's pretty fast, 52 meters per second, and we got some docks here for, I guess, yeah, something. So that's it. But let's get the second battle going. I'm a little bit too excited. And as said, it does have a timer on the first guns. I think it takes 3 seconds for the guns to even fire, except these ones, which are designed to trigger series. And they do, because the Broadsword do have diff civs against the scary crams. And we're not bringing scary crams, we're bringing joke crams. But it's good to keep the enemy on their toes, really using all of its firepower, because then it's gonna waste materials faster. You know? We are engaging with fire here in the front as usual. I'm really hoping the... Oh, look at that. The heat-seeking APS and laser combo. Oh yeah, I changed that. Never mind. The APS that's connected to the laser, it's Hesh now. It's tiny Hesh. Because I saw that in my tests that it can kill turret heads. So that's why it's that now, yeah. Gonna be pretty useless against the Broadsword, but whatever. Here we got the first volley of remote controlled. Oh my. They are really killing the frontier, man. Bam. Look at that. Ouch. 94 versus 91. The Broadsword is in the lead here. Fafnir is down to 98% to 89 percentages. Oh, it's so much about where the Fafnir versus the Broadsword, where they kind of target the first couple of shots. That's gonna decide a lot of the battle. Oh no, 87 percentages versus 93. I think we got a little bit too bold there, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going the way. It's not going the direction I wanted to. But it's best of 3, so even though the Fafnir goes down to 86 versus Broadsword's 93, we do statistically have a good chance of winning, since we did win the last battle. It's like, it can be pure luck, but it's usually not a fluke. If you can win one of the 3 battles, it could have gone either way. Why are we so laggy? Alright. We are lagging hard. We're lagging hard. Well, we do have forced motion. We usually don't lag this hard when it's not like... Oh, by the way, these missiles are shaped charges. So the broadsword incidentally has the perfect armor to beat this thing. The Fafnir isn't unfortunately optimized to kill the broadsword. It's optimized to kill the Drakenslang Mark II, and I don't even know if it can do that. But that's gonna be on the GMODISM channel, my second channel, by the way, if you did miss that little announcement. Oh my. Oh no, look at that. That's so much damage. We're really struggling here with 76 percentages versus 91. Oh man. They are focusing fire. They are angry today. This is not looking too good for the Fafnir for the second battle. We now have more than 10% lead for the broadsword, which is often indicative of the direction the battle is going in. The lasers are... Well, you are on target. Take that turret out. Go ahead, burn it down. The Fafnir really needs to switch sides. I suspect it's trying to switch sides too, but I don't think it may be able to. It's a little bit too damaged in this direction. The paddles do help with turning speed. Not a lot, but still significantly. Oh no. There we go. One of our main turrets is down. Yeah, this is kind of bad. Alright. What game speed are we even at now? It's like half speed. Feels like slower. Oh no, don't tell me we're gonna have a collision here. Ouch. 70... No, it's down to 67 percentages. We passed the funny number even. Broadsword is at 89 and it's looking like we're gonna have a collision. Our VLM missiles here of the Fafnir isn't exactly super happy we have this type of... Oh no. We do have a collision. I think it's gonna be pretty unlikely that we're gonna get out of this encounter alive. It's almost 20% lead. So the collision is hurting the Fafnir a lot more than it's hurting the broadsword. For one, the broadsword is very dense. It literally doesn't even stay above the water if it's not moving. It's not a campaign optimized vehicle, it's a tournament beast. Alright, and yeah, and the Fafnir is pretty light. It's a little bit loose. We use a lot of alloy blocks. It's lighter. It floats without using engine power. It's more optimized for campaign or tournament used. This iteration, of course, is tournament, but it's not as beastly designed, so to say. 61 percentages. Oh, what a tangle. What a tangle. You know, I think it may be a good opportunity to say big thanks to all of the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM, Admiral Dragon X62, Commodore the All-Around Gamer, Commanders Ali, Ben Wilkie, Cameron Dixon, Sven van der Velde, our Lieutenants Anto Cravey, Daniel Saikin, Owen, Parva Greed, Vincent Veritas, Volkite, Rick Brill, Scooby Rock, and of course all our cadets. Also big thanks to government official Chancellor Super Dave and to everyone in the police-hierarchy of GMODISM for supporting the channel. Big thanks to all of you to help this channel going. We're down to 58 percentages and this is basically a slideshow now. This is a very sad ending for the poor Fafnir. It's kind of fitting though. It kind of looks like it's being trimmed by a broadsword. And that's exactly what's happening. It's just that the broadsword isn't trimming the way it's designed to trim. It's kind of just being generally unpleasant, brutal, and yeah. It's pretty trash maneuvering right now. But it's not intentionally set up to do this. If it was, it would be disqualified in the earlier stages. It just unintentionally happens to go pretty close because it doesn't have a limit on how close it can go, I think. And if the other ship is just not fast enough at dodging, stuff like this happens. I don't even know if the Fafnir is set up to not collide with enemies. Sometimes I don't set up big ships to not collide with the enemies, because usually when they meet something, it doesn't matter if they collide, because the big ship is going to be the happy part in that encounter. If it's can hit with this, if the other ship is a smaller ship, that is. Well, there we have it. The second battle officially is being won by Project Broadsword from Skrabas. And as you can see, the Fafnir is now in despawning territory, which means it's gonna be all up to the third battle, which is the stronger battleship, just as we want it to be. Nice even matches. And for the beginning of the third battle, we are going to go back to full graphical settings, because that looks cool. Look at this thing. It's so brutal. It like shoots itself. It literally doesn't care. Alright. So you can see the Fafnir in its full glory. I do realize the lighting levels needs to be adjusted. Thank you. So here we have the beautiful VLM array. We have the shields. We got the boom boom boom. And oh no. Oh no. Looks like the Fafnir did the same. The damn diff guns shot the laser turrets. This is like our most important asset. No! This is not how I wanted this, but okay, it's fair. I guess both of the shits shot themselves. I didn't see us shooting ourselves before. This is annoying. Thankfully, our two repair bots may be able to fix that since it's the earliest damage taken. But oh my. Alright. We are having nice fires all over the place. It's pretty funny when you start a big fire. I think the heat targeting things will actually shoot a little bit at where the big fires are, which can be pretty useful. I did experiment with having all of the Fafnir's sandblasters being what is it, heavy heads instead, but then it had to rely on having 60-second focus on the same spot all the time, because otherwise the remote guided missiles, which contain a lot of incendiaries, those that come from underwater, not these that are the torpedoes, the combo that works both ways, they are coming here, and you better not hit. Okay, good. They are remote guided, so they come with a lot of fire, and when they basically focus on the same spot, that can be pretty useful. Don't you dare do a collision again. Broadsword, you're being rude. This is just rude. Oh no. I guess we should switch back to sad looking graphics mode already, otherwise this is gonna be hell. It already kinda is, but you know what I mean. Looks like we're gonna have a pass by at least. By the way, Isn't the dragon kite very funny? Is it called dragon in English? I don't know. In Swedish, it's called basically drake dragon. You know, the kite, the little toy kites. Anyways, so if it doesn't mean that in English, you have a good in joke now, or in information. Look at them sandblasting. I don't want to look too much at the Fafnir. I feel like I wanna see I wanna see the broadsword take the damage, not the other way around. Okay, we have to look at that one too. I wanna see the here you can see the hash. It's gonna be pretty useless against this, but it apparently found a hot block here, so we're really trying to dig here. Oh, bam! Anyways, let's look at what the broadsword is up to. We're having all of those frags. I'm glad we have this spaced armor here in this side. Oh yeah, and this is, you know, the laser is actually a little bit longer than it looks like, so sorry about that visual glitch. And that's because longer barrels make better damage at range. Let us see what you are up to. Oh, yeah, you're aiming at a pretty good spot. Well, I think we should boost up the game speed here a little bit. Go back to normal speed. Project Broadsword is not in the lead. The Fafnir is at 90% and the Broadsword is at 87%. That is pretty cool. Perhaps then the since the Fafnir is built to beat the Drakenslang Mark II, not the Mark III, the Mark II. It's not that new, the Fafnir. It may be a little bit beneficial against something like the Broadsword as well, which is also a pretty fast design. Are you gonna shoot yourself with your own missiles? Oh. That didn't happen much in my battle testing. It happened like once, but I really tweaked them to make it happen extremely rarely. But I don't like seeing it happen. I thought I fixed that. Oh, oh no. And the Fafnir, are you not gonna be better? You should at least not wanna head into face-smashing combat. Think of the poor little dragons. Aren't they cute? I designed them. Well, obviously, I built the ship. Anyways, our FPS is back at the sad territory. Oh no. This may be the death of the Fafnir. We lost so many blocks doing this last time. Oh no. Now they're basically back at the same material levels. We were in the lead and now we're not anymore. I don't see the laser beaming. Why don't I see the laser beaming? Are we having too bad field of view for that? Oh no. Are you kidding me? We're fucking hell. We're being blown up by our own torpedoes. Oh. That's not supposed to happen. But we're also not supposed to be stuck at the face smashing. Look at that! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The Fafnir class made a proper side switch. Isn't that quite beautiful? I hope that the broadside is gonna fire. It should have ammo for that, right? They shouldn't have fired already all of them. Well, whatever. I guess we'll see about that. Fafnir is at 80% and the Project Broadsword is at 79. So we are very close. I'm liking the fires we have on the turrets, but I'm not liking the firepower that's still incoming from the Broadsword. It's pretty interesting that the Broadsword has about double the firepower as the Fafnir class, but they still go toe to toe. So that's where you can see effective firepower versus brute force firepower. Which is gonna win? Fafnir with very effective firepower and Broadsword with very, like, just overwhelming brutal firepower. We don't have anything to counter it really with the firepower. It's just that, as you can see, a lot of the shells end up missing because they are not that accurate. They're like area damage things. That's how it does damage. Okay, going up to a longer distance combat, which is good for the Fafnir class, I think, because the sandblasters, oh yeah, they are doing good work. Beautiful, another turret is down. Fafnir is keeping the lead. It might darn well win. I was very scared after the second battle. I was starting to think that the Fafnir was just lucky the first battle. But maybe it was the Broadsword that was lucky the second battle. Well, in all honesty, I think they are a pretty good match. I think they are pretty equal. They seem to be a quite equal match indeed. They are pretty far away now. Look at that. And at this range, it looks like many of the shells are still landed. By the way, I did try to make the Fafnir class have very unstable yaw steering to make it squiggle back and forth. Like, I got a tip from Borderwise. I thought he used breadboard to make his ship squiggle around. But apparently he just boosts the gain for the yaw until they kind of squiggle around anyways. Which is honestly much smarter. It's effective, simple solution that works. So I did try it for the Fafnir, but it basically stumps its speed so much that it ended up being hit a lot by shells anyways. Oh no, look, parts are falling off. So I turned that back to a nice smooth curve to make it keep its speed. Oh darn. Fafnir is still keeping a 10% lead, but we are closing in a little bit here, and I don't like that. Looks like many of our sandblasting turrets are still working. Oh yes, a lot of the turrets are pretty sad. Which makes me anything else but sad. That's very nice. Looks like the combo for shooting at stuff still works. The Hesh laser combo. Are we sinking? I think it may have lost so much speed that it may sink. Have I been more excited ever in this tournament? I think not. That was a long time ago. When the Gimle class Mark III lost its recent battle, I was a little bit, sad. I was excited for the Gimle class Mark III to do any substantial damage, and it didn't. Oh man. Oh wow. Project Broadsword is down to 46%. I'm so happy. I did not expect the Fafnir class to win over the Broadsword. I did not expect... I thought it would lose, honestly. Because the Fafnir class is a little bit outdated for me. Alas, it's newer than the Project Broadsword. I bet Scrubbers could make a ship that absolutely beats the Fafnir class today. Because, you know, the Broadsword is pretty old. Yeah, but it's very impressive, and honestly, it could have won. You saw the second battle. It was a very even match. Either of the ships could have won. I do, however, believe that the Broadsword is gonna absolutely sweep all the shit to oblivion in the losers bracket, because I thought, honestly, the Project Broadsword would be a winner of this tournament, a potential winner, since how fast it beat the Gimle Mark I. And if you want to see if the Fafnir can beat the Gimle Mark I, and if you want to see if it can beat its intended target, the Drakenslang Mark II, well, you'll have to check the GMODISM channel. And if you want to do that, just click the GMODISM logo with the gear on the screen right now. You can go to the GMODISM channel and you can see some of those battles there. So hope you enjoyed this battle, and good game, Scrubbers. This was either ship could have won. I'm very excited the Fafnir class did win this battle, but I realized that it could have lost as well. It was pretty 50-50 situation probably. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like to help the algorithm make other people find this video. And as said, go to the GMODISM channel right now.